Okay, now it's recorded. Okay, when you see a message like a picture like that, this type of architecture, what it means? It means that you have, oh, my point is not working. Yes, it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, when you see a picture like that, what it means is you have the sensor send message to an internet gateway that send message to the edge that send message to the cloud. Okay, and the sensors send the measures that send message from the things that it measures, for example, pictures, videos, signers, and others. The gateways aggregate the data, they control the data, the edge analyze it and pre-process, and the data cloud make the big analysis and manage an archive of data. Okay, but when you analyze one architecture, you would like to understand how the data flow and how you control the flow of the control. When you see here, the data flow use this path and the control is use the opposite path. Okay, it's the thing that is important when you analyze the architecture. Another thing that is important is what each layer does, okay? And in particular about the, it's a very important tool, okay? Is the service models, okay? For example, if you open the Google or if you open the Azure and you try to, for example, if you want, in the next week, I believe you have an exercise that you will do, and you try to use cloud service like a Google or like Amazon or like Azure, okay? And when you see, okay, here my pointer. When you enter in the Google, or Microsoft, or Amazon, the first information that you need to answer is, okay, what you want? You want a IIS, a PIS, a SaaS, or GA? GAS is a little hard, okay? There is no, for example, you didn't find easily. But the first thing that the Google will ask is which type of service model do you want, okay? Depend the model that you want, they provide different type of solution to you, okay? It's very important to memorize these terms, okay? Now, I try to explain one example of IoT architecture applied. You have a different type of IoT architecture. For example, you can have smart homes, you can apply IoT in the airport, you can apply IoT in the maintenance, in the industry, and other type of solutions. Okay, there are many different type of solutions. Okay. Today, I will explain the IoT architecture example in a smart home. Why a smart home? Because the lab 2 and the lab 3 is about not it's about a smart home and smart office. Okay, we use this scenario to study how to design IoT network using the Cisco Packet Tracer. A smart home is an IoT automation network that you have a different type of device in your home, and each device has your specific functionality or a specific function, and and each device share information with the others, and you have an application, a central application, most of the time on the cloud, okay? And you use the smartphone to access this application, and this application use the information from different devices to provide better decisions. For example, your coffee maker can have sensors. For example, you can, for example, in the coffee maker, you use the smartphone, you can start the producer of your coffee. For example, you're driving, okay, and you are, I don't know, 2 minutes to enter in your home. You can push a button and said, okay, coffee maker, prepare my coffee. Okay, when you open your door, the coffee is done. A very use, for example, that I had, for example, I don't know if you have here. Yes, you don't have exactly here, but it's like it. Okay, my air conditioner in my house has it's an IoT. It has a lot of sensors, and you can control remotely. It's a very useful because here in Brazil it's very hot and depend the time. And what I'm doing a lot of time, I'm in my work. I work very close to my house, and when I leave my home, and I leave my work, okay, I turn on my air conditioner, okay, to prepare the temperature when I enter the home. The temperature is like it's like I like, okay? It's, for example, it's close to the temperature and humidity is exactly the way that I like it, okay? You can turn on, turn off lights. For example, in the US, I have a smart lamps and smart cameras. And when for example, for any reason I need to travel, I control the lights and they control the cameras. Where for example, one time I went to Orlando. I live in Virginia, and I control my home, the lights and the cameras around my property from the Orlando. Okay. You have it's very common. You have the smart TV and smart sound, your tablet and others. Okay. Another thing that you can have in the cloud, you have application that you control all things and it provides some insight. For example, in US, I have an application, and when detects some crazy things, for example, you have 2 a.m. a guy that is close to your car, and the camera detects this guy. What this system does, he call me and turn on the lights in front of my house. Okay? And I see, oh, what's happened? Oh, there is one guy here. And it is a record message. Okay, you have a situation in your properties. No, it's not necessary. It's you're in danger. However, you need to check your camera. And I see the camera. In some cases, only a small animal. In some cases, a beer. And in some cases, it's only a guy that travel and that I don't know what he does 2 a.m. in the street, but close my car. Okay, it's the things that a smart home can do to you. Okay, a question to you: is it common to have this type of technology in Mexico home? Again, in the US, it's not so common, okay? In the US, it's common to have a smart cameras that you control around near your home, for example, and inside your home, and provide this type of service. It's very common in the West. However, it's not common to have, for example, a smart TV, Alexa style control everything. It's not so common, okay? In Mexico, how it is in Mexico? You have a lot of houses that has this technology, or just a few in Mexico City?
I think it depends. I think it's not that common.
But did you have some, I don't know, some condoms that you have this type of technology in Mexico? Maybe, I believe is high society, maybe. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in Brazil. Brazil is not so common. However, in some condos, you have this type of services. The people, high level people lives. It's not high level because it's very intelligent, smart. It's because it has a lot of money. In some cases, it's not so smart. It's a little dumb here in Brazil. I don't know in Mexico. It's not corresponding. You have good education, you have money. In some cases, you have money and don't know how to speak. For example, soccer players is a good example in Brazil. Okay, but again, in Brazil, it's not so common. You have a few condoms in close to São Paulo. In São José, you have one that has this type of service. In my condom, for example, you don't have. You have just a little. You don't have this type of fees. In US, it's a little common. For example, in New York, it's very common. But only New York. In DC, you don't have a lot of houses with this type of fees. Great, 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 great. I love technology, okay? I'm a geek guy. One day, maybe I will live in my house that has these things, complete connect things. And maybe my house try to kill me. Like in what's the name of the movie? Is the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is, oh my gosh.
Terminator.
Yes, the Terminator. Did you like the Terminator? Terminator is an amazing move. It's not because it's I taught one course. It's a little break, okay? Race. I taught one course about the ethics in artificial intelligence ethics. It's not about artificial intelligence ethics, okay? It's about artificial intelligence applied to decision making, okay? And during this course, there is a lot of military because I applied this course in the army, in Brazilian army, okay? And one important point is the ethics of artificial intelligence, how to use artificial intelligence to produce better weapons, okay? And a good question is, okay, you generate artificial intelligence and to produce weapons, okay, to produce smart weapons. I work in a project in the West that the decision needs to be done only use machines, okay? For example, you have aircraft, navies, ships, satellites, and other weapons. The weapons work together to produce, send the missile or do not send the missile, okay? And the decision to send the missile or does not send the missile is a decision, a shared decision. However, you now, in the current stage of the system, you have a human, but the plan in the 10 years ahead, you don't have any human, okay? You share information, use the cumulative knowledge about the scenario, and take the decision alone. And the question is, okay, you have a lot of machines that take decision alone, and if you have a fail and the machine decide to destroy you, it's the things that we discuss about ethics in artificial intelligence. It's an amazing topic. Okay, back to our course. Okay, examples of smart technology, smart home technology. Access. It is a little, this type of technology is a little easy to find in Brazil. You have a smart locks. I never live in a house that you have this type of technology. But I know a lot of people that has defined to don't use anymore keys and use this type of locks, okay? In my case, I believe it's the last technology that I will implement, because if it's fail, I'm alone in my house, or outside my house, okay? But how it's happened, how it works. You have a very advanced cryptography and authentication protocols and applications, okay? And you define to open, to don't open. You can programming, for example, okay, open the door at, for example, 9 a.m. and close 9:30. For example, you have you travel and you need to enable that your housekeeper, I don't know the name in English, your, in the Portuguese, empregada is faxineira, something like that. I don't know exactly the name in English, sorry, and in Spanish, so too. It's the human that you pay to clean your house, okay? The cleaner, for example. You need to enable that the cleaner enter in your home, work, and leave, okay? It's not so common in Brazil because the virus is not so, it's not a good idea in Brazil. Instead, you really knows the human that you enter in your house. But is it possible? You open the, for example, I use it one time in my house, but not to use this technology. I use a friend to open. But one example is you have a dog and you need to open the main gate, the main door in your home. Okay, the people don't enter in your home, but enter in the garden to put food, to prepare the food of the dogs. Okay, you can program in this type of device to open and close uh, uh, the, the door. Another example of what you can do with the smart locks is if the things that the door need to be closed or open, okay? And you open but never close, you can generate alert. There is a case not in the home, but is in the office. In the long time ago, I worked in that place. It's a very secured place when you have a very specific and strong control to enter in the offices and something like that. And for example, to enter in your office, you need to open, and when you close the door, to leave and to enter in the home, you need to use your passcode. And in the central control, you can, for example, bypass your key and decide, okay, does not open or does not close. Okay. And one time my boss defined, okay, I need to generate the report today. It's completely impossible to generate because you don't have time to generate the report. What happened is he entered in the security point system and close and lock all doors, and you cannot leave of your office. This guy was fired after he did it, but in that time, after you pass for the situation, it's fun. Okay, another device is the climate control. It's this one. It's a little easy to find, for example, in the West. Okay, in Brazil, no. I don't know in Mexico. But this type of device, it has a smart thermostat. You control the temperature. You measure, for example, temperature and humidity, okay? And control the air conditioning to keep the temperature like you define, okay? In my home in the US has this type of device, okay? And control, for example, in the winter and the summer, the temperature is the same, okay? Not the outside temperature. My home temperature is the same, okay? And you depend the type of device, you have more advanced control. For example, you can define, okay, you can define the economy profile. In the economy profile, you control the temperature during the day to be close if your target, but the focus is economy. It's not too comfortable, okay? Lighting is the amazing. My kids love this type of lighting. In the light, you can do a lot of things. You can change the light, okay? For example, you like something like chromotherapy, you can change the lights. I remember my young son asked me to buy a car because the car has different colors depending your humor. It's crazy. I didn't buy because it's very expensive. But again, you have smart lights, smart heights, you can have in the indoor, outdoor. One things you can change the color, but the most amazing things you can control when it is turn on, turn off. Most of the time, alone the lighting is not do any good service. But when you connect the lighting with, for example, the security system, it provides a very good service. For example, when you have dangerous or war situation, you turn on the lights. It's a really amazing. It's a really amazing thing. Security system is the most common application. Again, I don't know. A question to you. In the Mexico, you have homes that is install a smart security system, for example, that control doors, detect motions, for example, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Did you have this time? Do you have this type of technology in Mexico? It's common to have.
Smoke detectors, yes, in every building, but due to safety regulations.
But the motion detection or security things is not so common. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, it's not that common.
Okay, perfect. Exactly. São Paulo is the same. The São Paulo that you have, for example, in the you have a neighborhood in São Paulo, is the Itaim, okay? Is a place that you have the people with more money in São Paulo, okay? But it's different. You have two places. You have two places in São Paulo that you have the people with that has more money. You have Morumbi, but in Morumbi you have the big house, okay? The really big houses. You have a lot of bar garden. Is a very rich guys. And you have the other ones, Itaim, when you have the people that don't have helicopters, but you have a lot of money and live in buildings, okay? In this place, you have a lot of security system, but only in this place. It's not so common to have house with this type of technology. Okay, smart motion sensors. Again, it's like I said, for example, you have a camera and the camera detects the motion and you can do a lot of things. You can record to be able to see after. You can generate an alert to you, or you can turn on, turn off, send a call the police, sorry, when ring alarm and others when you have danger or hazardous situation. System maintenance is very common in the industry. Okay, you can control a lot of things. For example, water fails, freezing pipe is not, I believe, is not the situation in Mexico. It's like Brazil, but the freezing pipe is a very big problem in the West because when you start the winter, the water inside the pipe frozen and destroy the maintenance is very expensive. Okay, the flooding and other type electric surgery and other type of problem that you have in the house, and you can have a system and maintain system that can measure the information from the device, and before it fail, you send a maintenance command. For example, in my house, yes, the air conditioner has this capabilities. I have some device that has this capability. You can contract hiring a service from, I believe it's LG company, and the LG monitoring the device and send commands, control, and define the when you need to visit, receive a visit from the technique and something like that. Okay. There are other types of device that you can have in the smart home. However, this one is the main. But you can have, for example, sprinkles. It's again, in Brazil it's not so common, but in West it's a little more. You have smart sprinkle that you can control, okay, or start or turn on, turn off. In some cases, you can connect with other device, for example, that measure the temperature, the humidity, And depend the temperature and the humidity of the air, you can start to turn off the sprinkle. Another, you have the doors, open and close, doors in the garage and others. There are other type of device. It's the things that I show is the most common. Okay. Any question, guys?
No, teacher.
Not sure.
Okay. Now, oops. Open the presentation. I start a new unit. Okay, it's a very short unit. Okay. And because you already talk a lot of things about these things, and you learning part of this top in the with the apps. Okay, I will show where this topic is. Ok, this topic here, redes sensores, atuadores e objetos inteligentes. Ok. So this topic is about the smart objects. Okay. The goal is to identify what is a smart object and its properties. Okay. Again, it's a very short talk. Okay. Before understand what is a smart object, we understand what is not is or non-smart object. Okay. A non-smart object is the object that is not capable. The object is not capable or not capable to interact with other objects or to people. Okay. For example, a sensor is an example of a smart object. Okay. What is a sensor? A sensor is an electronic device and composed of sensitive cells, okay, that are able to measure physical parameters like you have thousands of different sensors. For example, in accelerometers, temperature, proximity, image, lights, gas, microflow, humidity, pressure, acoustic, gyroscope, magnetometers, and others, okay? In our case, you use a ultra sensor sensor to detect, for example, in our project, we use a ultra sensor to detect distance, for example, to measure the distance between an obstacle. In our case, it's paper or the trash. Okay. Another one is the actuator. Actuator is a machine component that is responsible to control one mechanism: open, close. Okay, open more or close more. Okay, you can not only open and close, but you can increase the open. For example, you increase the flow or decrease. Okay, and a smart object, the keyword is interactions. A smart object is any object that is capable to interact with other smart objects or people. Okay. This graph is very good because it shows what is a smart object, what is not smart. Okay, smart object is a smartphone, microcontroller, robots. Okay, for example, smartphone you have Android, Windows, iOS. Microcontroller you have Arduino, PIC. Robots you have Lego, Plio, and BG. I don't know. And the not smart, you have sensors like temperature, humidity, flame detector, and you have actuators, mechanics, and actions. Okay, servo motor, speaker, vibration, send mail is an example of actuators. But to identify the difference between the smart object and not smart is the smart object can interact with other objects and people. Examples of IoT device. There are thousands of different devices, okay, IoT device. Now I will explain, I will show only the two more, it's not exactly the two more important, but the two more used, common in the academic side, okay? For example, it's not so common to find Arduino in the industry implementation, okay? Most of the time you design and prototype your solution, use Arduino, but after you finalize the solution, you move the solution, for example, to a peak computer, okay? It's a very small one when you have more powerful, okay? Because Arduino has a lot of limitation, okay? It's the same of the Raspberry. Raspberry is very common in the academic side. It's the Raspberry project is developed to provide a very small computer to schools, okay? So the main difference between Arduino and the Raspberry is the Arduino is only a microcontroller, okay? What it means, you don't have a computer, you don't have memory. It's only a microcontroller, and you need to program in this microcontroller to provide service to it. Otherwise, the Raspberry is a very small single board computer. Okay? It's like a computer. For example, you need to have monitor, you need to have keyboard to configure the Raspberry. Okay, you need to have a memory key to insert in the Raspberry. In Arduino, you don't have. It means that the Arduino is more powerful. No, Arduino is not more powerful. The opposite. Arduino is much more hard to configure to programming than Raspberry. Okay. The thing is, Raspberry you need to have monitor and keyboard and other things to the first setup. However, after you can control using VNC and other technology, and your work is much better because you have a Raspberry OS or a Debian OS installed here. A Raspberry OS is a type of Debian, okay? In Arduino, no. In some cases, in Arduino, you need to control, you need to send some very low-level commands to the card to control, for example, door, gateways and others information in the device. Again, I don't spend a lot of time about it because the Professor Yepes will teach about Arduino, okay? Maybe in the last week before in the, I talked with him yesterday, but I'm not sure exactly when you start to teach about it, but it's one class because it's a very easy, but you don't use Arduino, you use Raspberry, okay? Who already worked with Arduino or Raspberry? Who knows? Who already has some experience with programming Arduino or Raspberry? Oh, nice. Carla, Abraham, Ivan, Eduardo. It's amazing. Oh, a lot of people. Oh, nice, 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 nice. I really like to programming things. My plan when I have time is to build a specific project that I really like is a computer game and use Arduino and the other use the Raspberry and put the 3 or 4 of them in parallel to provide better performance. However, I don't have time. And it's amazing because I have during a long part of my life, I work with this type of technology. However, I'm the designer. Most of the time I didn't get the computer device and programming things in the physical device. Okay, I developed the hardware, I design how the hardware will be, but I never have the time to get the computer and change the cards and something like that. And I have a technical guy that did, not a one guy, but a team that did this thing for me. And amazing, he said, okay, your fingers is a little big. It's the reason that you cannot work with the so small things. And it's true. I have a very difficult to, for example, to work with the jumpers in the cards. To me, it's very hard. So, but it's amazing. You have already have experience. A lot of people, a lot of you has experience with the Raspberry or Arduino. Again, please, just only who has experience with Raspberry. Up your hands. Just to see. 1, 2. Okay. I understood the orders is only in the. Okay, I asked about the Arduino or Raspberry.
Raspberry.
Arduino.
The
Okay.
last one was Arduino.
Okay. Most of you has experience with Arduino or Raspberry. Okay. Who has experience with Raspberry? Please send me a sign like a light. Okay, 1. Okay, the others is Arduino. Okay, it's perfect. It's really perfect. Okay, thank you for this information. It's a very useful information. Okay. Oh, I need to stop and I need to share without. Okay, in our project, each example of our project is, okay, where's the pointer? Here. You have a Raspberry, okay, and you have this sensor, okay, the ultrasonic sensor, okay, and you can have a LED, okay, or 2, 3 LEDs, for example. If the trash is empty, you have a green, you can use 2, 3, it depends. You don't need, but you can use. But at least one to define, to detect if the board is on, is turn on or turn off, okay? And you put this device here in the, because you close and you, in the sensor, you'll see the trash, measure the distance from the bottom of the can, okay? I have a very small video here, okay? And I would like to watch. It's very close to the project that you develop, okay? Okay, it's exactly the things that you did in this course. Okay, you have you can have a more advanced. Okay. Okay, a more advanced example you can have, for example, in the, you can put, for example, humidity sensor to detect if the trash is recycled trash or no recycled trash. You can improve better. But in our example, you won't detect if the can is empty or full. Okay, it's only it. Okay. So before I go back to the break, I would like that you connect in this link. Okay, I will pass the link in the chat. Give me a second. But before I need to start the example, the exercise. Give me a second, please. Okay. Now I will pass the information in the chat, okay? And please, I would like to realize this activity here. Okay, I need to see what is wrong. Oh, here. Okay, please connect. Oh, a lot of people already connected. Okay, it's different than the Kahoot. Okay, you can start the activity when you are done. Okay. Guys, only 8 guys is start the exercise. Please, we have 26 guys in the class.
Teacher, can you show the code again, please?
Sorry,
Can you show the code again?
show the link.
Yes, or the code to enter the code.
I send the link to the chat, Carla.
I don't see it.
Oh, okay, I will show again. Sorry, give me a second. Did you see now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys, mark 15 minutes, okay? Okay, more 5 minutes. Okay, so I will finalize. Okay, and I'm sharing the screen now. Okay, it's our results. I'm really happy with the final result. Okay, you was very good. Okay, there are one case here, but it's good. The question 7, I missed to put the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is the B. Okay, I will pass for question by question. Okay, but as B, everybody did correctly. Okay, so the first question is very easy. What are the 4 stages in IoT architecture? Is sensor actuators, internet gators, data acquisition, adding data center. This one, fog is wrong. Fog is wrong. And security does not, the last one is completely wrong. Okay. The second, the correct answer is the main difference is interact. Okay, like I did. Interaction, it's one to others device is the main difference between the smart and no smart. The wrong answer here is, okay, it's not in the IoT gateway and data acquisitions, not provide managed service like process information through analytics, managed device and security control. It happens in the cloud. This is correct. Edge is close to the physical system, the physical device. It's exactly the opposite. If you don't have change in the data, okay, if you don't have change, you don't send the data to the cloud. If you want to increase or decrease your cost and maintenance in the IT, the good solution is the yes. And to remove the complexity is the pass. It's the definition of the desktop, and Arduino and Raspberry is not the examples of small single board. Raspberry is a small single board, and Arduino is a microcontroller. Okay, it's the final solution of this exercise. However, you was very, very good. Any questions? Did you have difficulty to realize the exercise? It was easy. What do you think?
It was good, teacher.
Okay. So I will give more 10 minutes break. Okay. After the break, we will do one exercise. Is a practical at the lab 2. We work. I will present the lab 2, and we will work in the lab 2. Okay. Return now is 18. Return in 28. Okay. See you on 28. Okay, guys. Thank you.